Right now, you might be lying in bed, surrounded by total darkness, with only the blue light of your phone illuminating your face. Maybe it is 2 a.m. Maybe you are physically exhausted, but you just refuse to sleep. Have you ever noticed a strange phenomenon? It feels like you have two distinct personalities. The daytime you is a rational adult. You go to work, you socialize, you laugh at jokes, you make plans for the future, and you feel relatively bulletproof. But the moment the sun goes down, and especially after midnight, something shifts. A wave of loneliness, sadness, or deep regret washes over you out of nowhere. You start replaying a conversation from 5 years ago. You start questioning if your current job has any meaning. You might even start spiraling about the concept of death. Then, the next morning, you wake up, look back at your thoughts from the night before, and think, wow, I was being so dramatic. But what if I told you that you weren't being dramatic? What if I told you that you aren't depressed either? This is a purely neurological phenomenon. Simply put, the brain you have at 2 a.m. is physically not the same brain you have at 2 p.m. Stick with me for the next few minutes. We are going to deconstruct the biology behind your late-night sadness. You will finally understand why darkness acts like a developer fluid for your soul. First, we need to talk about the security guard in your head, the prefrontal cortex. This is the most evolved part of your brain. It is responsible for logic, reasoning, emotional regulation, and impulse control. During the day, your prefrontal cortex is fully charged. It acts like a strict security guard, blocking out negative, irrational, or intrusive thoughts. It tells you, hey, stop worrying about that, we have work to do. But here's the catch. The security guard gets tired. After a long day of making decisions and processing information, your prefrontal cortex fatigues. Its metabolic function slows down, and its control over the emotional part of your brain, the amygdala, weakens significantly. Think of it like a parent falling asleep while the toddlers are still awake. The toddlers in this case are your raw emotions, fear, anxiety, sadness. Without the rational brain there to supervise them, they start throwing a party. So the intense sadness you feel at night isn't necessarily because your life is worse. It's because your brain's braking system has failed. You aren't seeing reality. You are seeing raw emotion amplified by 10 times its normal size. Second, let's talk about psychological noise and the default mode network. During the day, your senses are bombarded. Conversations, traffic, typing, notifications. These external stimuli act like an anesthetic. They keep you distracted from your own internal world. But at night, the world goes quiet. The external distraction vanishes. In the absence of input, your brain automatically switches to the default mode network. This is the neural network responsible for self-reflection, memory, and worrying about the future. When this network activates in a silent room, your mind has nowhere to go but inward. Psychologists call this rumination. You become like a cow chewing its cud, regurgitating old negative emotions and chewing on them over and over again. You think you are analyzing your life, but really, your brain is just idling in a negative loop. Third, and perhaps the most overlooked point, is the evolutionary meaning of loneliness. Evolutionary psychologists remind us that humans are pack animals. In ancient times, if you were awake, alone, in the middle of the night, you were in immediate danger. It meant you had been separated from the tribe or exiled. So when you lie awake alone at night, your primitive brain releases a distress signal, a form of social pain. It is a chemical alarm bell screaming, "Find your tribe. Go back to safety." In the modern world, where we live in safe apartments, we misinterpret this ancient survival signal as a deep, personal feeling that no one loves me. So now that you know this, what should you do? The next time that late-night sadness hits you, do not try to solve it. And more importantly, do not trust it. Tell yourself, I know I feel terrible right now, but that doesn't mean my life is terrible. It just means my prefrontal cortex is clocked out and my amygdala is running the show. Do not make any life-changing decisions after midnight. Do not send that text to your ex. Do not question your entire existence. Because in that moment, you are essentially thinking with a drunk brain. The best form of self-care at 2 a.m. isn't listening to sad music. It is simply going to sleep. Even if you just close your eyes and breathe. Because when you wake up and the sun rises, your rational brain will come back online. And you will realize that the world that felt so hopeless last night isn't actually that bad. If you are also a late-night philosopher, let me know in the comments. We explore the mind here. See you in the next one.